step 1 is to find the sine of negative 9 pi over 4. And then once you get that answer, you can take the reciprocal piece of it. All right, so now 9 pi over 4, it's one of our unit circle pieces, but it is larger than 2 pi. So it means I've gone around the circle once. And how do I know this is more than one rotation? Specifically, it's larger because if this is 2 pi, right, then one rotation around in force would be 8 pi over 4, right? So you know it's more than one rotation. But we also have the idea that this is negative 9 pi over 4. So it's going in the opposite direction. So if I go through and start with here, that gives me negative 2 pi, right? How much more do you need to get to negative 9 pi over 4? Just another negative pi over 4, correct? All right, now in this case, it's pretty straightforward. We don't even need to make and know what that is, but if we needed to do that as a positive angle, that would be, how would you would find that by saying, I know that is 8 pi over 4 because I started with 2 pi, and 8 pi over 4 is the same, minus pi over 4, so that gives me 7 pi over 4. And that's would be the angle if I went from the beginning to the end. But I also know that this has a reference angle of pi over 4. This point on the unit circle, whenever it's 4 in the denominator, it's always going to be the square root of 2 over square root of 2. And then if I put the signs in, my x value is positive and my y value is negative. So since I'm looking for, there's a lot going on in this. So since I'm looking for the sine of negative 9 pi over 4, that's the same thing, and that would equal negative square root of 2 over 2. So then the reciprocal function of this tells me I come all the way back up here, but I flip it, and that would then, and then I have to rationalize it, or I should say unrationalize it, right? Because we had to do that in the very beginning. So that's going to give me negative 2 over 2, and that cancels, so it would just be negative radical 2.